Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Just getting turned on. Looking for my lovely co-host. There she
Oh my
is.
gosh.
How are you?
Hi.
I think that was the smoothest we've ever done this.
Ever.
Oh
Ever.
my
Like I'm
God.
in shock. And I'm excited. And I'm so excited for Cosmic Tea. And I've missed my little soul sister here.
I know, I've missed you so much too. What a wild week. Energetically, we are coming up on this full moon in Aquarius on the 23rd, 24th. So lots of building energy. And I'm sure all of you have
Lots.
probably felt it. There's this like crescendo of aggression. This really has to do with the self, the ego, the like fixing what's wrong, and just kind of doing a major life overhaul. So please comment below if you have been affected at all by this sort of like tense energy. Let us know. How
Yeah,
has your
let us
week been?
know about the energy and also where you're from. And to piggyback off of that. And we just are so grateful. We love 333 right now. Everybody make a beautiful wish, set an intention. Um, Also, this energy I find and a lot of messages I'm receiving is just um, around really having to stay true to yourself and not recognizing where you are wanting to be a people pleaser and where you are trying to put yourself in a box of what's being expected of you versus what it is that you really want. So are you living the life that you want to be living, and are you staying true to your true self? And how to really just stay on that path is another thing
Absolutely.
that I'm really hearing a lot, and seeing a lot with this energy, like crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is a little crazy. The energy feels a little bit crazy, but kind of crazy good, right? Because we
Yes.
can use that. Oh, I love you too. Arshaya 3297. I'm sorry if I
We
butchered
love you
your name.
guys.
We love you all so much. So today, me and my beautiful co-queen, Melissa Kathryn, are going to be talking about all of the things, but specifically insomnia and depression. You guys really loved our talk last week on anxiety, and we got such a response from that. So we got a lot of requests to help you fix your life and to give you our life hacks for some of the things that you may find drag you down on the regular. Insomnia and just kind of day-to-day depression being one of them. And Melissa, I know you do so much with nutrition and with diet and with being a holistic nutritionist that I'm sure you've got some magic up your sleeve for us in terms of quick
You,
fixes diet wise.
like I do. I would say the top things, and I think insomnia, and also just that I always hear again is like, I have no problems falling asleep, but I can't stay asleep. Or
Mm-hmm.
I wake up in the middle of the night and then I'm exhausted. I'm short with my partner, I'm short with my kids, or I'm short at work and this and that. So I feel like there's a lot of all natural supplements that I think between the two of us, you being the incredible doctor that you are. So definitely, guys, I will also say I know everybody loves their coffee and their caffeine. And I also start to really track it is that last time of day before it impacts your sleep. Because I know even we might be thinking like, oh, 12, 2 o'clock, it's still early. I can't per se have caffeine past 2, or I'm literally, it will keep me awake, even if it's a small amount. So I would really look at simple things like that I think easily get overlooked and we don't realize what it's doing, along with sugar. But again, just like basics when it comes to sleep, no connection to LED screens within ideally 2 hours before going to bed. That blue, like that light that you get from your phone, from your iPad, from your computer, and Olivia, I guarantee will give you the scientific research on this, and we'll know this. I'm just going to tell you right now, it will keep you awake and keep your head spinning with a list of to-dos. So if you are already somebody that gets lost in their massive list of to-dos, shut it down. Really, really shut it down. The next thing that I would say is the ideal actual temperature to sleep in is 65 degrees. The other thing that I would say is, especially if you are light sensitive, get a sleep mask or get blackout shades that you can get that are not expensive. You don't have to like redo your entire bedroom, but it is a game changer if you are light sensitive, and it also just helps your body to really recognize that you're still sleeping. And the other thing that I would say, along with the temperature breaking out of the LED screen, is do a mind dump before you go to bed. Make a list the night before of what you need to do the next day. Do the same thing with your work stuff. Do the same thing with your personal stuff, so that's out of your head and you don't need to think about it. And my other final tip that I will say to do is there's also these amazing, aside from creating a restful environment, a calming environment, calming through breath work, candles, oils, things of that nature, really making that sanctuary the same way you would for a child. You want to do that for yourself. But the other thing that I will say is there's also these great weighted blankets that have crystals in them. And yeah, it's like you can spend like $250, but I'm telling you, it simulates the similar experience to when you're kind of in the womb, that weight. And it really allows for this safety that you might not even think that you need. And you might be like, I feel safe at night. It's not about that. It's more of we're animals by nature, and there's a calming to the nervous system. And those blankets are really, really amazing to have. Those are just some tips that I have. What about you?
Well, I love them all, naturally.
I
I have a weighted blanket and I love it so much. It's really difficult to fold. So just as an like awareness, if you're trying to fold it, just make sure that you haven't just done arms in the gym or something like that, because it is heavy. But actually what that does is it decompresses your nervous system. So when you're lying there and you find yourself jumping and you're like, oh, what's that noise? What's this? What's that? And you're sort of like overstimulated. What that weighted blanket does is it actually calms that nervous system. And there's a whole science behind pressure points and things of that nature, which we won't get into, but let's just say it works. And we are not affiliated with any weighted blanket companies. We just both enjoy them in terms of our own sleep habits.
So what is the one that you have? Because I guarantee people will want to know.
You know what? I'll have to look at it. I did fold it.
That's all right.
After arm day.
I wasn't sure, but I know I had one off Amazon. I was trying to remember it too. I'm traveling right now, so I don't know mine either.
We'll put that on the story.
DM us if you have any questions about that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what brand it is. I'll have to look at the tag. But I don't look at the tag because I'm sleeping, because it works so well. One of the things that I really want to talk to you guys about in terms of insomnia, in terms of sleep cycles, is how important that sleep is. So when we sleep, our body does this thing, and this is new research, where we actually release chemicals in our CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, that washes debris, which late in stage, long-term, would turn into plaque, and actually a prerequisite for Alzheimer's disease, dementia, and other cognitive decline conditions. It rinses that off while we sleep.
Amazing.
Fascinating, right?
I love how you said that. You simplify it so well. Yeah. No, it's great.
I try. That's like the hashtag dork speak there. But, you know, it's really this amazing mechanism where our body, you know, goes in and it repairs. And I always think about like these little elves again, because I'm just like fully embracing my dorkishness today, because let's just dive in. But I think about elves going in and like washing your brain with little scrubber brushes, because that's exactly what this process does. That is not the medical term for it, but essentially that's the best way that I could describe what actually happens when you get good REM. So that's the deep cycle of sleep. I'm not talking about the sleep where you're sort of like dozing off and then you're waking back up, and then you're dozing off and then you're waking back up. I'm talking about really allowing, and here's the key thing, enough time to get into that deep REM cycle and stay there for a handful of hours. Now we're talking about like 4 or 5 hours.
I was going to say, what's the ideal REM sleep? Is it 4 to 5 hours?
Yeah, it turns out it's about 4 to 5 hours. Here's the thing. Science has determined that different people, different chronotypes, need different levels of sleep. So that being said, I have friends that are like, I have to have 12 hours of sleep a night. And I have friends that get 12 hours of sleep a night. I have friends that say, I only need 4 to 3 to function and be optimal and really like be at my apex function.
I'm like an 8-hour. My body loves
Right.
just a solid 8.
So by determining your chronotype, and that means, you know, there's a whole quiz that you can take. And again, we will put the link below. There's a great book by the sleep doctor, Dr. Michael Bruce, who breaks down your chronotype. And this has to do with, you know, how you move, what hours of the day you feel most alive and most at peak, and all of these different things. But some people really do need less sleep than others. So as it turns out, there's not a one size fits all in terms of that. But here's what I would suggest. I would give yourself a week. And that sounds like a really big commitment, but it's not when we're talking about extending your life by about 5 to 10 years of quality, healthy living. We're also talking about boosting immune system function by like 75 to 80% with good quality sleep. And you get the little scrubber elves that are working on your brain and preventing Alzheimer's and all these other cognitive decline conditions. So you really, for the investment, I would go for it. I would give yourself a week. And what I would do is I would make sure that your schedule allows for you to incrementally try 6 hours of sleep, but 6 hours of restful sleep, and see how that feels. And under the same conditions with no variables, I would give yourself 4 hours of sleep. And under the same conditions with no variables, I would give yourself 9 hours of sleep, 10 hours, whatever your life allows you to go up to. And then I would see which one feels best and which one fits best. And then from there, I would determine, you know, kind of where, on what day afterwards did you feel the most optimal? Did you feel the most at peak? Did you feel the most functional? And that's kind of how I would determine it. And it's kind of like your own little sleep study. And I just saved you about $5,000 in insurance you know, premiums by not going and having a sleep study. You can do it yourself. But by controlling the variables, what I mean is don't have, you know, boatloads of coffee on day 1 and then not on day 2. And don't, you know, try not to add additional stress on day 3 as you would on day 4. So try and keep the environment the same. Try to keep the variables. And it'll be like a little science experiment. We want to hear about your results. What do you find? Anybody that's in the chat, what are your optimal hours of sleep, assuming that you don't have issues with insomnia? And you said, Melissa, you're like an 8-hour.
I've noticed that I feel like Superwoman when I get like 9 to 10. Like I'm literally like, oh my God. But in general, like if I'm consistently getting good night's sleep and there isn't one night that's like 5 hours and the next night, you know, and I don't need to, and I don't need to do any catch up, then I find that solid 8 hours is great for me. Like that's like, I will naturally, I get up without an alarm. Okay. Yeah. 8 hours, 6 hours. That's perfect. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What about you?
If I have 10, I feel drunk. Like if I have 10 hours of sleep, I absolutely feel drunk and feel like hungover and like I'm not functioning at max capacity. I really need about 6, maybe 8 if I'm like really have gone hard in the gym or I'm like trying not to get sick or my immune system is you know kind of like boosting up. Then I'll get maybe like 2 hours additional. But here's the thing. I wake at the same time every day within an hour.
So do I. And in fact, my body doesn't let me. It doesn't matter if I went to bed like 2 hours before that. I will still pop up and be like, what is going on?
Correct. Yeah. I feel like if I, you know, even if I need additional sleep, quote unquote, if I sleep past then, that's when I really go into this like almost pseudo disorientation. So keeping your schedule pretty much the same and pretty static is also really essential in combating insomnia.
That's the thing, guys. Just remember, we are animals by nature. So just like you train a pet, children, like, I mean, I hate to say it like that, but really thinking about yourself in that vein, we love routine. Humans love routine and schedules. So the more that you get your body used to a schedule, the more it will adhere and desire the schedule. And I've even found when people are like, no, I'm a night person. I'm like, I've often found that they actually just, that time in which they got tired, they just overrode it and then went into that second wind where all of a sudden they got a wave of energy. And that's when your body, your mind is set up for survival. So if it thinks you need to have energy and stay awake, it will give you that. And that's when you find yourself like, you know, reorganizing your kitchen and doing your
Yeah.
closet at like 1 in the morning. You're like, I just can't sleep. It's like there was a point in time a few hours earlier where had you allowed yourself to go to bed, you would have fallen asleep. But we end up getting on our phones, turning the TV on, and stimulating our minds that then get us active and going.
Absolutely. And, you know, we have to address as well the energetic aspect of insomnia. So there are stressors that can prevent you from getting good sleep. Got a lot on your mind. Maybe you're dealing with like relationship issues or family issues or financial issues or all of the above, whatever it is, issues with your kids, doesn't matter. Or maybe you're just in this place where you're feeling kind of stuck in life. One really helpful tool that I want to provide and I want to offer is to have a notebook beside your bed. And that's just kind of like your purge book, where every night before bed, you write down everything that is on your mind, every stressor. But when you're doing it, you visualize the act of giving it to the purge book. It's like a computer. You are dumping it out of your brain and you
Like you're
are
taking the trash out at the end of the day.
Exactly. It's like emptying your recycle bin on your home screen, right? So making sure that that is the last thing that you do before bed. The last thing, because you don't want to do that and then get on Facebook and then read shit that you don't want to hear or get triggered by something and then, oh, guess what? The rubbish bin's full again. So like make sure that's the last thing that you do. Have your purge book there, and whatever it is that you're hanging on to, whatever it is that you are wrestling with or that you feel like is really undigested from the day, put that in the purge book. Close the purge book. Put it away where you're not going to look at it. And but
Don't
visualize. Don't reread it. Don't try and figure it out. Don't text what's in your purge book to somebody else. Just put it in there. Visualize the act of it literally going from your brain onto the page and into the book, and shut it and put it away. That's
and
not
don't type it, guys. You actually have to write it out. We're not typing on a computer or anything. Yeah.
The physical act of writing is really magical. I'm not saying that that's going to solve all of your problems. I'm not saying that it's not. But what I am saying is that you're kind of giving it to the universe at that point, and something really magical and transformational happens when we get it out of the ethos, right? Our thought, our brain, that sort of like element of energy that surrounds us is in our orbit. And when we put it into something physical and then we sort of like give it away, and it becomes not in us anymore. And it's not that we don't have to deal with it, but it's no longer an integrative, you know, kind of like cellular process that we're dealing with. So a purge book, journal, whatever. I would actually have a separate book by your bed to do this. If you're somebody that journals anyway, like I almost want like a purge book and then your inspirational journal. So like an evening and
I
morning
have.
book. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I have like 50 different journals for 50 different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And also
And
magnesium.
yeah.
Magnesium is a supplement that
I was just going to say, let's give them some of our top favorite supplements.
well, I'm glad that you asked, because I would love
Yes.
to. So magnesium is a compound in our body. It's a mineral that is what we call bivalent. So bivalent compounds need to work in conjunction with another mineral in order to function optimally. So we need magnesium and calcium. If you think about, we'll just take your heart, for example, right? Your heart is like a two-stroke motor. So there's an expansion element and then there's a contractive element. So that's how your heart works, right? So magnesium is the relaxant. Calcium is a contractant. So they work in conjunction with each other. And we're not just talking about your heart. They actually work better when there's equal balances of that in your body. The problem with that being, magnesium is used in over 350 different bodily processes. So it's really, really easy to become deficient in it. We lose it through poor diet. We lose it through sweating. We lose it through, you know, any kind of like bodily function you can think of, you know, sweating, like puking, whatever. We lose a lot of magnesium from. And if you have had any type of autoimmune viral illness, you typically have a very low amount of magnesium because it's robbed from your GI tract, that and B12. So those two things are things that I would really have tested. I would really look at that. Magnesium is something that can really kind of like help the overstimulation response of your entire body. My favorite brand is Natural Calm. Again, not affiliated with them. It's just something that I use.
It's so good to drink at night.
So
before
good.
bed. Just an
And
hour within bed.
Yeah, and they have a nighttime formula. I also love this product called Moon Milk, and I actually love it a little bit too much because when I travel, I'm like, oh, I don't have my Moon Milk, and it's ashwagandha, it's magnesium, it is like, you know, it has BCAAs, it has collagen, it has all these different things, and that is made by Vital Proteins, who I also love.
I love
So
protein,
those are
yeah.
two products that I really use for sleep. It does have melatonin. And I know that there's a lot of controversy about melatonin. It doesn't work. People pop it and they're like, I'm not feeling anything. Melatonin is a tricky one because it, like many other minerals, can take a long time to satiate that level of like what you need. And then it'll change, right? So it's like a probiotic in that way. So what worked for you in terms of melatonin 5 years ago when you tried it and now it doesn't work, well, that's because your biochemistry changes. It's kind of like what the body does. So you might want to give it another go. I would try any of the products that we listed first, certainly magnesium, because there's something like, I don't know, 80% of the population is magnesium deficient.
I was going to say the majority of women are deficient in magnesium after the age of 30.
Yeah.
And guys, it also not only does it relax you, but it helps to regulate you if that's an issue. And you can't overdose on this. So like, I know there's a lot of fear, like, oh, well, how much do I take and this and that. Everyone's body is different. I know that I personally am like highly deficient in it. So I take a lot of it. And you will also find that there's different kinds. So you want to test out and see which ones are ideal for you between, you know, citrate, chelated, glycinate, a combination.
Absolutely. And so the different types of magnesium work on the different systems of your body. If you are somebody that has chronically sore muscles, not necessarily from working out, if you have slow bowel movements, if you have headaches, if you're anemic, if you have dark circles under your eyes, like I could name off a bunch of stuff. And I guarantee you, you're going to resonate with one because, as Melissa said, it's like 80% of the population is magnesium deficient. And we think, right, like I'll go eat this vegetable or I'll go, you know, whatever, have this recipe that has all these magnesium rich foods like bananas and whatever. That should be true. Unfortunately, the soil that that's coming from is very over-farmed. And if you don't know this, you might want to take notes because this is really going to be a life hack. If you are looking simply at foods for supplementation, you're going to have to try to consume more or supplement.
You're going to have to consume like troughs.
Right. So
many troughs. And we're also born with toxicity. That's already a limit. Like when we come in just from, I don't care how incredible the womb was that you came from.
The womb was still lit. Okay.
Yeah. Unlike the toxicity. So the idea that we can get everything from food, as much as I would love that, and I'm a super clean eater and whole food eater, I still will have supplementation, and I do believe in supplements, and especially, you know, often, again, you can't OD on like supplements, but making sure that you have good products because supplements are not FDA regulated in the United States. The best ones honestly come from Germany. Some of my favorite companies to buy from that I stand behind are Thorne, Pure Encapsulations. Why is the other one escaping me? There's like 3 that I really love. Pure Encapsulations, Thorne. What's the third?
I love Garden of Life and Now.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Garden of Life Now. There was another one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if you look for the little GMO butterfly, typically there's another tier of regulation that is involved there. But also, here's the thing, guys, you got to do your homework. So if you are taking vitamins or supplements that you're not deficient in, this is where I want you to really research your body and research what the supplements are. Don't just say, oh, my friend Joe took it, so it's probably good for me. If you are taking a supplement that you are not deficient in, you are paying for, drum roll please, very expensive urine. And that is exactly what it will get you. This is what I tell my patients all the time. You really have to do some legwork and find out, does like that magnesium deficiency resonate for me? Does this resonate for me? And I meet so many patients and clients that are taking this laundry list of things. And I'm like, why are you taking that? And they go, I don't know. I read an article on it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get a panel done. Go to functional medicine doctor. you know, an internist and go and get your minerals, your vitamins, get a full lab makeup. It's not going to be common just going to your regular Western medicine doctor. You really need to ask for your B, your vitamin. You know, vitamin D3 is another one that our body doesn't make on its own, but it's a game changer if you struggle with energy.
Mm-hmm.
A few other sleep supplements before we go. I love magnesium. I will also say, Liv had mentioned melatonin. There's also valerian root. There's
Mm-hmm.
some great teas, and having something warm to calm the body and to help get you into that sleep state is really lovely. And then a few other things. There's one called Tranquil Sleep, which is like melatonin, valerian, 5-HTP. These are ones that you can get. And again, just see how much your body needs. I don't struggle with sleep, but if I do and I need something, my body's very, very sensitive, and I need like a fifth of like a valerian root, and I'm like out, right? Other people need something different. But I will tell you that if you put in the lifestyle changes, you know, something that Liv and I live by,
Mm-hmm.
Liv and I live by, is really, honestly, we love to have a full day. We want to exhaust ourselves the way you would a child, so that when I would rather be in bed at 8 o'clock at night, you know, okay, that's a bit early, but you get what I'm saying, versus staying up till midnight and having a full day and getting up super early the next morning. Really look at your day and look at how much energy am I expending. You know, if you struggle with insomnia, it's like, am I working out each day? Am I moving my body? Am I engaging with other people? Am I just sitting all day and hardly moving, and then wondering, you know, why I'm having trouble sleeping? Also pay attention to that caffeine regulation and what you're doing there, your sugar, the LED screens, what your sleep state, what your room is like, your environment, and what you're doing to calm yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And then going into some of those supplements that can really support naturally calms are, we both agree, hands down, magnesium of any kind. And then I also, like I said, I know Tranquil Sleep. There's also something called Midnight that's homeopathic, that you can take any time of night if you end up waking up in the middle of the night, and you won't wake up groggy. It's all natural. And you can get that, you know, at any like Walgreens, CVS. Are there any other supplements? You had mentioned ashwagandha, which is a great one.
Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. So anytime that you can look for an adaptogen, what adaptogens do is they will go in and they sort of like re-regulate themselves within the body. So they'll identify what the deficiency is, what needs to be satisfied, and they'll sort of make themselves at home in the best possible role. So that's why I love ashwagandha. It's also really great for thyroid. But guys, you know, as we said, diet alone isn't enough.
Yeah.
You know, visualization alone isn't enough. Supplements alone aren't enough. This is about a lifestyle change. And sleep is not a luxury, okay? Sleep is a necessity. If you want any kind of transformation in your life, whether that be physical, emotional, spiritual, you have to rest. This is literally a time when our body energetically downloads messages from our ancestors and from the universe. This
It's
is the
when you
time
can
when
rewrite trauma, age
absolutely
backwards, cellular turnover, not
like
doing
our
yourself
body
any
reprogram.
good, not getting sleep.
This is like, imagine if you never powered down your laptop, right? You'd have issues. So don't let that happen. Make sure that you're giving yourself the appropriate time. Try it for a week. Let us know. DM us and tell us how you are sleeping. We want to know. I'm going to go take a nap.
I have to go eat crabs with my family, but I will be in bed by about 9 o'clock tonight, because that's the way we do.
That's how we do. And you know what? That's the life that I want to live. Like that, those are goals.
It is the best.
I know.
But guys, let us know any questions you have. We hope you love this episode. We know how much supporting guys and what you're feeling, experiencing. Any questions? We know how much you loved the anxiety, our episode last week, and we will be doing more of these. Please message us anything you need. Absolutely. You can DM Liv, and you can DM myself. And if you want to spend 3 days with us, we have our Awakened Woman retreat coming up September 24th through the 26th, and we would absolutely love to have you. We'll put the link below. And you can come and spend 3 days with us to take your mind, body, and soul to the next level. Now is the time, and this is the energy to do it. The universe is completely here to support us in doing that and rising up.
I love it. And join us for our free webinar that we are going to do live intuitive coaching sessions on August 5th. That's going to be available on our pages and on our stories and all of the places. We'd love to see you guys so that we can give you our girlfriend's guide to the universe. This has been another episode of Cosmic Tea. Your teacup takeaway for the day: care for yourself first. Sleep is a necessity, not a luxury. And do the investigation on your body and your sleep habits. Let us know. Melissa, Kathryn, as always, I love you.
I love you.
So grateful. And we love all of you.
I am so grateful for you. We love you guys so much. Keep sharing this with your friends. Let us know any questions you have. We can't wait to be with you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.